It's Nolan.
Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
Cold bread, nigga, I been on some cold shit. I been trying to get money, stacks, and some more shit. Out the window, I'm loading up with a full clip. Bitch, I ain't none of them niggas you went to school with. I'm on a mission for the riches, my stock on. Them numbers going crazy like a syndrome, no stock on. My .com, buzz instead of tripping, we popped off. Niggas steady hating, they block warm, invested a penny, dog. I stay on point like a Pentagon. No religion, they treat me like a demigod. Started small at the bottom, now we living large. I been a boss, nigga, eating like a spinner cost. I'm in my bag, I'm in my go, y'all. Walking out the bank, a nigga fresh, I need a photo. Talking distribution with the best, we up in Cobalt. I'm counting up the money with a time, ain't got no job, I'm classy. Young rich nigga on the way, yeah. I'm still hungry, hella chicken on the plate, yeah. I'm killing shit, I need to see with yellow tape. Got me weeding out the snakes, lift a nigga like some weights, Cold bread, nigga, I been on some cold shit. I been trying to get money, stacks, and some more shit. Out the window, I'm loading up with a full clip. Bitch, I ain't none of them niggas you went to school with. I don't speak to niggas in the cafe. Watching everybody like a matinee. Know they coming from a spot like a valet. My shit selling word of bad. Hold up, I'm getting.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Happy New Year to everyone out there, man. And as much as things may have changed coming into this new one for you, the more things stay the same. We have another lawsuit coming out against Drake and Steak, and it was literally just filed yesterday. So we're going to go through the filing, but what I'm seeing online is more allegations of Drake botting, more allegations of Drake actually using tips, using money made from Steak to funnel into artificial streams. Again, these are allegations. They have to be proven, but this was not the first time that Drake has been accused of botting. This ain't the first time he's been accused of doing fraudulent streams. The very same thing that he was accusing Kendrick and UMG of doing. We now have those same accusations going in his direction. We're going to get to the paperwork as we always do. Of course, this is with Drake, Steak, and Adin Ross. We're not going to get into the other Adin Ross matters at this time. We're going to do a separate video for Glasses Malone and his response to Adin Ross after Doechie's new song came out and everything that unfolded in that space. Want to keep everything succinct, so we'll do separate videos. Unfortunately, I hate to even talk about them, but that's where we at. But let's get to this paperwork because we got to read through about 20 pages of this Steak shit. Now, this case here is filed as a RICO. I want to be clear. The demand is for $5 million or in excess of $5 million, but this is a RICO filing. Okay, this has been filed by Lashana Ridley and Tiffany Hines, Stake.us users within the United States. And remember, Stake.us is their American operations where they're being accused by multiple people. There are a bunch of lawsuits against Steak for basically using false promotion tools in order for them to, kind of skirt the guidelines of running this casino in America, in states that don't even allow online gambling. All right. So, class action complaint. Plaintiffs Lashana Ridley and Tiffany Hines, by and through their attorneys, bring this action individually and on behalf of all others similarly situated, the class, against defendant Sweepstakes Limited, Aubrey Drake Graham, Adin Ross, and George Nguyen. Now, George Nguyen, remember, that is the fucking GrandWizard Chat dude who runs with the DJ that don't spin. So now his name is involved in this shit. Okay? Which, to my knowledge, this is the first one that I've seen that includes him too. Now that's deep. Because it was already bad enough that he was an Asian motherfucker out here using the N-word online and using GrandWizard Chat nigga, you know what I'm saying, associating himself with Klansmen shit and making a spoof of black culture. But it looks like he's also in on the money play with Steak. So I could see why it was so important that Drake played a role in recovering his account last year on IG. Y'all remember when that happened? Collectively, defendants. Plaintiffs make the following allegations upon information and belief, except those allegations as to the plaintiffs or their attorneys, which are based on personal knowledge. Nature of the action. This consumer class action seeks to stop Stake.us, an illegal online gambling platform promoted by Drake, Ross, and Nguyen, and used by Drake, Ross, and Nguyen to obscure transmissions of money in furtherance of their ongoing music botting campaigns. They get to the music botting campaign immediately on this. From continuing to prey upon consumers and to impose civil penalties on all defendants to deter future misconduct. Stake.us, a U.S. storefront for Stake.com, has been operating as one of the largest and most profitable illegal online casinos since at least 2022. Stake.us was created and marketed to U.S. customers as a social casino that purportedly does not permit real money gambling to bypass applicable United States federal and Commonwealth of Virginia gambling regulations. And I do believe this is set in Illinois. Am I correct? Anyway, attempting unsuccessfully to hide behind the facade of a safe and free gambling experience, Stake.us misrepresents itself to regulators and consumers. In reality, it operates as an illegal online casino. Stake.us offers nearly 2,000 casino games and permits players to place bets using specialized casino chips and to cash out their winnings. We've heard this verbiage before many times. Stake.us offers two types of virtual currency, gold coins and stake cash. Gold coins have no monetary value and cannot be converted into real money. We've gone over this numerous times as well. However, stake cash, which is the real prize, can be redeemed for cryptocurrency or digital gift cards at a rate of 1 stake cash to 1 United States dollar, meaning that it has the value of $1. Okay? Each stake cash coin. Stake.us bundles every purchase of gold coins with stake cash. Thus, when a player purchases gold coins to engage in casino games, they are also purchasing stake cash, which is an affront. If a player is lucky and wins, they can cash out their stake cash for cryptocurrency, but if a player loses their stake cash and wishes to continue gambling, they must buy more worthless gold coins, which will be bundled with more stake cash, which once again, that is the real jewel, but they use the gold coins as a way of saying it's valueless, right? You're just purchasing more opportunities to play, right? On the front end. The gold coin is what they promote. The stake cash is what you're really playing for because it has a one-to-one value with a US dollar. Defendants Drake and Ross are paid by Stake to promote the platform. The two have engaged in live stream gambling, wagering large sums of money that was provided surreptitiously by Stake. In other words, though Drake and Ross purported to be gambling with their own Stake cash, it was in fact provided to them by the house. All right, this is not the first time of the allegations of them playing with fake money. And remember, they've been accused of playing with fake money, to which Drake has actually fought back against the public and said, no, we are really playing for high stakes. We really playing for money out here. Through these and other promotions, Stake has bombarded consumers with advertisements appearing on social media platforms depicting its games as safe, legal, and fun. But these casino games are illegal in Virginia. Okay, so they're Virginia, which they mentioned Virginia and Commonwealth before, and throughout the United States, and have inflicted harm on consumers across the Commonwealth who have lost real money chasing gambling wins on the Stake platform. Defendants Drake, Ross, and Nguyen have also made use of Stake, including through its U.S. storefront Stake.us, to directly transfer money between and among themselves using Stake's tipping program. Out of all the lawsuits, this is the first I've seen make reference to this tipping program and them sending money to each other. An unlimited and wholly unregulated money transmitter that appears to exist outside the oversight of any financial regulator. defendants have utilized Stake's tipping program to inter alia transfer gambling proceeds wagered through on the Stake platform. And remember, I believe there was a guy by the name of Julian who had sent Drake some money. Well, he sent it to Top 5 allegedly in crypto. Top 5 received it, sent it to Drake to use on Stake, and said, I will give you X amount of dollars in return in a certain amount of time. Y'all remember that? In addition, through Stake's tipping function, defendants have financed their combined artificial streaming to create fraudulent streams of Drake's music, fabricate popularity, disparage competitors and music label executives, distort recommendation algorithms, and distribute financing for all of the foregoing while concealing the flow of funds. At the heart of the scheme, Drake, acting directly and through willing and knowledgeable co-conspirators, has deployed automated bots and streaming farms to artificially inflate play counts of his music across major platforms such as Spotify. These inauthentic streams, injected via interstate digital pathways, were calibrated to mislead royalty and recommendation engines, manufacture popularity, distort playlists and charts, and divert both value and audience attention. In tandem, this manipulation has suppressed authentic artists and narrowed consumers' access to legitimate content by undermining the integrity of curated experiences. Stake.us's user-to-user tipping and encrypted internal transfer mechanisms have fueled and enabled payments to bot operators and amplifiers to be hidden from public or regulatory view. One example of a publicly documented large value tip is a $100,000 tipping transfer between defendants Drake and Ross in 2023. In December 2024, Drake gave away large sums of money in partnership with Ross and Stake as part of his Drizmas giveaway. Y'all remember that? That was supposed to have been a big deal. These tips and many others like them cycled among defendants Drake, Ross, and Nguyen, underwriting, botting, and paid engagement campaigns. Days before the filing of this complaint, defendant Drake gave defendant Ross a $220,000 car as a gift. And of course, a gift seems harmless until people can figure out what the gift is hiding, or what comes with the gift, or what's attached to it. Stake.us platform design, which masks counterparties and camouflages withdrawals as generic transactions, stymie scrutiny, and obstruct tracing of illicit proceeds, tipping proceeds, and other transfers on and from Stake.us, went directly or indirectly from defendant Drake to, through, or with the knowledge and assistance of defendant Ross, and on from there to defendant Nguyen. Okay, so they're saying that Drake is sending money to Adin Ross, who's then sending it to the Asian guy, Nguyen. Nguyen served as a facilitator and operational broker, alternatively converting stake-based cryptocurrency to cash or receiving cash from stake-transferred cryptocurrency proceeds. And remember, George Nguyen allegedly resides in Australia or somewhere around there. So he is out of the country. So it does make sense that if they're doing these kind of transactions in the US, since the money is not necessarily legit in the US, it makes sense that they would be doing crypto-based transactions, funneling it to someone out of the country who's in the proper jurisdiction to be handling actual stake money, and then transferring it into cash. From there, Nguyen interfaced with bot vendors, supervised coordinated amplification strategies, and integrated paid clipping campaigns. Very interesting that they mentioned clipping, because George and the DJ That Don't Spin are affiliated with Kick and Stake's clipping company. And they serve as ambassadors of the clipping company. And the clipping company is where they take clips of these streams and they'll pay you to distribute those clips on social media, right? So when you see people going viral off of these streaming clips from different accounts across social media, and you just think that they're organically like popular, which they are popular, they have people viewing them, but they get extended reach from these clipping accounts that are paying people to make them more popular or seem more popular. They get into it here. The clipping campaigns were facilitated through the clipping service and affiliated networks on the X, formerly Twitter, Discord, and Kick platforms. Kick, in turn, is a betting platform financially underwritten by the founders of Stake. Public posts, chat logs, leaked communications, and other records document Nguyen's direct handling of funds through multiple payment platforms, orchestration of narrative surges, Act TV, and amplification alongside and as an instrument of Drake and Ross. So this lawsuit here is kind of breaking down a lot of the online activity that we see from Drake, Adin Ross, and Act TV. And it's all being jumbled into the activity of stake.us. Very interesting. Plaintiffs in the class are stake.us users who have been misled by stake.us misrepresentations that stake.us is a legal, harmless, and safe gaming site when it is in fact not legal, not harmless, and not safe. Stake.us preys on consumers in Virginia and nationwide who are lured into real money gambling, exposing consumers to substantial risk of gambling addictions and jeopardizing their and their families' financial well-being. Each of the plaintiffs was influenced to participate and to continue to participate after their initial participation on the Stake platform by the online promotional activities of defendant Drake as viewed by each of the plaintiffs. Plaintiffs have been further damaged by the false marketing manipulations and abuses of defendant Drake, who, by his own public announcements, has been paid some $100 million per year to promote Stake, as well as defendants Ross and Nguyen, who have participated directly in the marketing of stake.us, as documented in their many online posts across multiple platforms, advertising and endorsing Stake. Plaintiffs assert claims under the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act and the Virginia Consumer Protection Act. Plaintiffs seek damages, treble damages under RICO, restitution and disgorgement, injunctive and declaratory relief, attorney's fees and costs, and all other relief deemed just and proper. This court has subject matter jurisdiction under 28 U.S.C. because the amount in controversy exceeds $5 million exclusive of interest and costs. Members of the class are citizens of states different from any defendant, and plaintiffs are citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So this is a filed civil RICO asking for excess of $5 million. Okay. We kind of just read through this already. We don't need all this information restated. Let's get to the factual allegations. But here you see defendant George Nguyen, Australian national residing in New South Wales. Okay. He's got companies such as Weekdays Capital and Clipping, and GrandWizard. Just to make sure we're all on the same page and I'm not pulling this out my ass, it's in the paperwork too. Now let's get to the factual allegations. Stake.us has operated since at least 2022, one of the largest and most profitable illegal online gambling operations, while defendants Drake, Ross, and Nguyen promote the illegal casino to consumers and enable recruitment of new American players. Stake.com is banned from operating in Virginia and indeed anywhere in the United States. Stake.us was created by Stake.com's founders to bypass such restrictions. Stake.us is almost identical to Stake.com, as both websites offer the same or substantially the same content, including online casino games such as slots, table games, and live dealer games. Additionally, both offer gold coins and Stake Cash. Once again, we're very familiar with all of this. Everybody that's come against these parties have mentioned all of the same. I'm going to see if I can find anything in here that can get deeper to the root of the botting and the other shit, right? Because we already know what type of time Stake is allegedly on. We've read through at least 2 to 3 of lawsuits on them. All right, so in section B here, they get into the deceptive marketing and the role of Drake, Ross, and Gwen. So that's really what we want to focus on, right? So stake.com originally created as online cryptocurrency casino that could be accessed, albeit unlawfully, by consumers in the United States by use of a VPN, obscuring the user's true locations. Stake.com's founders later developed Stake.us, an almost identical version of Stake.com to further entrench itself as an online casino platform in the US. Stake.us advertises that its social casino offers a safe and free gaming experience. This misleading statement deceives consumers into believing that they are participating in harmless gameplay, when in fact they are being lured into real money gambling. Drake, Ross, and Gwen have been zealous promoters of Stake. Drake has been paid by his own admission $100 million per year for his promotional services. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it comes out that that figure might even be fake itself for additional promotion to make it seem bigger than it is. But that's just a thought. Drake, Ross, and Gwen have further incentive to promote and mask the true nature and extent of their conduct on and around Stake. Since at least 2022, Drake and those acting under his discretion, including Ross and Gwen, have made use of Stake.com and Stake.us to covertly finance the orchestrated procurement of botting and streaming farm activities to artificially inflate the number of plays attributed to Drake's catalog across major digital streaming services such as Spotify. Stake.us facilitates this covert financing scheme through its user-to-user tipping and internal transfers that effectively obscure the identities of counterparties. Through these mechanisms, withdrawals are recorded merely as Stake transactions, concealing their true origins and recipients. These transactional features enable the concealment, covert routing, and disbursement of funds to bot operators, intermediaries, and amplifiers, integral to sustaining and expanding the artificial streaming and amplification operations. Now, I want to take a quick little break here and say, notice that everybody that Drake has sat down with as a streamer has only been in the interest of gambling on Stake. He just did a holiday stream with Ben the Don, the black comedian, who they got on fucking Kick, gambled on Stake. He gifted him a car as well, right? He does about 3 or 4 streams a year with Adin Ross. People are still wondering why he won't sit down with the DJ that don't spin, even though he be doing the most tricks on it. But partially to his credit, he doesn't get on his stream and gamble on Stake all day. So Drake is like, shit, I'll talk to you. I'll see you when I see you. But I ain't giving you no fucking interview. I got other people that are of use to me that I can make money with. I ain't really getting nothing up off you. You just got a bunch of fucking niggas in the chat. We over here, when I chat with Adin Ross and Ben the Don and these other niggas, it's a financial move as well as a promotional tactic. So that makes some of this stuff seem a little bit more plausible to me, man. I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, artificially inflate the number of plays attributed to his catalog across major digital streaming services such as Spotify, tipping and internal transfers that effectively obscure the identities of counterparties. Through these mechanisms, withdrawals are recorded merely as Stake transactions, concealing their true origins and recipients. These transactional features enable the concealment, covert routing, and disbursement of funds to bot operators, intermediaries, and I just read that. All right. For these reasons, among others, Drake and Ross maintain a monetized and closely intertwined relationship with Stake.us. Drake and Ross have exchanged high dollar amount, U.S. currency transaction report thresholds, tips during live streams, including a widely publicized 6-figure transaction. These live streams are also used to promote Stake and push its gambling services onto Drake and Ross's millions of online followers. Specifically, one Kick live stream captured exchange of a $100,000 tip among Drake and Ross via Stake, with another instance evidencing a $10,000 tip. Additional stream recordings reiterated substantial exchanges between Drake and Ross routed through Stake, with ongoing streams of funds on information and belief, totaling in the millions of dollars, amounts which, upon information and belief, have underwritten continued botting and amplification efforts. Just days before this complaint was filed, defendant Drake gifted a $220,000 card to defendant Ross. And I believe Adin Ross is, a shareholder of some sort in Kick, where they do the live streams. You know what I'm saying? So when people want to go over to Kick, they want to give up their Twitch channel and start streaming on Kick, he can facilitate that and do the deals and stuff like that, or at least put them in motion. Payments between Ross and Drake extended beyond direct exchanges. Public records and leaked communications reveal intermediary transfers to bot vendors and logistics facilitators, including Nguyen. How they tracking this? I have no fucking idea, but they on y'all ass. A known recipient of payments linked to clipping and amplification campaigns. Portions of funds transmitted through Stake's tipping and internal transfers passed through to bot vendors and amplification intermediaries to perpetuate and scale manipulation activities. Nguyen, known in online forums as GrandWizard Chat Ni, or GrandWizard CN, functioned and appears to continue to function as a broker and operational facilitator for these schemes. He is publicly connected to Weekdays Capital and the clipping service, which orchestrated paid clipping campaigns intrinsically tied to streaming numbers and influencer content, including campaigns involving Drake and Ross. Nguyen actively promoted and participated in the clipping Discord server and received direct payments both from clipping administrators and separately from other co-conspirators. Nguyen's public posts include corroboration by Ross, who on stream declared, "I'm friends with GrandWizard, that's my dog," while tagging Drake's account. Drake has bet large sums on Stake and live streamed the event, further promoting Stake to his millions of followers. Stake.us publicly stated that Drake has been a longtime member of the Stake community, and ultimately a partnership was formed in which a new gaming experience will allow users to have a chance to win big alongside Drake. This type of giveaway will be on a magnitude unseen before. Drake's journey from a player to a partner is documented on Stake's web properties, while Drake's social media accounts identify his partnership with Stake. In our last lawsuit reading, they actually had screenshots of all of this. During live streamed events, Drake and Ross have made large bets on Stake using house money provided by Stake. This conduct simply encourages and influences the large fan base of Drake and Ross to make similarly large and or unwise bets, yet using Stake cash they purchased themselves. Okay? So Drake and Adin Ross, who are perceived as already having wealth, and they're getting on Kick and gambling freely, right? Because we got big money, we got money to blow, let's do it, right? On the back end, the money that they're playing with on Stake is being funded by the company. But the fans of these guys want to be like them, so now they're signing up on Kick and saying, shit, I may not have as much money as Drake and Adin, but shit, if I got an extra 3,000-4,000, fuck it, we ball. Which is dumb within itself. I can't absolve people of putting up their own money, whether it be hard earned or otherwise, and continually losing. Of course, we know that gambling does facilitate addiction, but they have to have some accountability for their own actions. But they're attempting to hold Drake, GrandWizard, and Adin accountable for their part in promoting it, in making it widespread, in making it a fun experience versus something that should take some real thought. Like, is this something I should be doing versus making impulsive decisions? And then Stake is being held accountable for making it accessible in the US when it shouldn't be under the guise of a social casino when you're really playing for real money, but they disguise it, right? So that's where all parties are linked in here. All right. So again, consumer harms, we know all about this stuff. I am skipping a few pages here. So we get into additional use of financial institutions. In executing and concealing the scheme, the enterprise utilized domestic and foreign financial institutions and processors to obtain, move, and disguise funds by means of materially false pretenses and omissions regarding the nature and purpose of transactions. So they're calling this like a international operation, right? Because the money is being concealed in the US, sent to foreign areas, and then it's being funneled back into disguise, whether it be the transactions, whether it be the streams, whether it be the gifts, all of that different shit, right? The predicate acts were related in purpose, results, participants, victims, and methods, were repeated across releases, campaigns, and accounting periods, and present a threat of continued racketeering activity. The enterprise functioned as a continuing unit since at least 2022. Class action allegations. Plaintiffs bring this action individually and on behalf of a class of similarly situated individuals pursuant to Rule 23 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Okay, so they get into more of the same. Just trying to be quick here because, again, we're aware of this operation that Stake is running with Drake. Just trying to get to the activity in which he's being directly implicated. All right, so count one, violation of RICO 18 USC, participation in an unlawful enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity against all defendants. Plaintiffs reallege the preceding paragraphs. Defendants associated together with others known and unknown to form an association, in fact, enterprise within the meaning of 18 USC with a common purpose to operate and facilitate an illegal online gambling platform. Each defendant conducted or participated directly or indirectly in the enterprise's affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity affecting interstate and foreign commerce, including leveraging Stake.US's unlawful gambling-related operations as a conduit within the last 10 years, as reflected in public enforcement and consumer actions to facilitate and conceal the scheme in violation of 18 U.S. Code 1955 and to establish continuity of racketeering conduct. The predicate acts are related in purpose, results, participants, victims, and methods, and amount to continued criminal activity across multiple years and release cycles, posing a threat of continued racketeering activity as a direct and proximate result of defendants' violations of 18 U.S. Code 1962C. Plaintiffs and the class suffered injury to business or property, including the loss of benefit of their bargain and loss of money and or property. Count 2, RICO conspiracy. Defendants knowingly agreed and conspired that one or more of them would conduct or participate in the enterprise affairs through a pattern of racketeering activity. Overt acts in furtherance include dissemination of coordinated narratives and the routing and concealment of payments via Stake.US, tipping, and internal transfers. Plaintiffs and the class suffered injury by reason of defendants' 1962D violation and seek treble damages, costs, and fees under 18 U.S.C. 1964C. Count 3. Virginia Consumer Protection Act. Plaintiffs reallege the preceding paragraphs. Defendants engaged in deceptive and misleading acts and practices in connection with consumer transactions affecting Virginia residents, including by misrepresenting the Stake platform as a safe, harmless, and legal platform when it in fact constitutes an illegal gambling platform. Defendants' conduct constitutes misrepresentations and omissions of material facts, false representation as to characteristics, standard, and qualities of the services consumed, and deception likely to mislead reasonable consumers in violation of the VCPA. Plaintiffs and the class suffered ascertainable losses as a result of defendants' violations, including overpayments and loss of the benefit of their bargain. Plaintiffs seek statutory damages, actual damages, treble damages where authorized for willful violations, injunctive relief, attorneys' fees, and costs. And once again, they're seeking damages in excess of $5 million for this lawsuit. Okay? They would like a jury trial. So we'll just have to see how this thing plays out. If it, at some point, is dismissed or if it actually proceeds to a trial. If it gets settled or otherwise. But I find it very interesting that they're directly accusing Drake, Adin Ross, and George Nguyen, a.k.a. the chat nigga, a.k.a. the Asian culture vulture, of directly using tips and monies gained through stake and transactions funneled through stake to directly bot his music and inflate his numbers. So I wonder what type of evidence they have of that specifically, since it's in there very boldly, and they got to that claim almost immediately in the filing. All right? I'm quite sure Drake is not going to respond to this. He's going to continue to run this play until it's fully revealed or until he's possibly vindicated and says none of this happened, right? I have to acknowledge both possibilities. But again, we'll see how all of it plays out, all right? This is another $5 million lawsuit against Drake's stake, Adin Ross, and a new defendant, as in George Nguyen. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good out there, man. Peace.
Yeah, family over fame in this bitch, yeah. The glory of living righteous is setting in. My street knowledge and education's a perfect blend. Young mogul, independent, I've been setting trends. The first one from my family to be faithfully wed. Fuck niggas and the horses that they riding on. I see this shit from all angles like a polygon. I'm never politicking, the drama be piling on. Father and great son acknowledged like I'm Bobby Bonds. Conversation with my lady about the paper route. 5 sit bank accounts every day I make it count. They down talking my commentary for hating now. Well, I can take it cause I'm bodying your favorite now, please. I can do this shit in my sleep. I been writing for these niggas, y'all read it and weep. I been fighting these niggas if you speak on the street. I'll turn your birthday party into New Year's Eve. Don't let me take it there. We ain't playing fair. This the ATL, Southside nigga moving furniture like Wayfair. Life on hold, no insurance for your healthcare. Lifeline gone, so you wanna be a millionaire? Well, let me tell you about this world I built. The women I dodged, the niggas that I read for filth. The sympathy calls, consulting for the stakes I built. I